What's going on, everyone? How you doing? Hope you've all had an incredible week. So you may remember in a previous video I shared about getting rid of the M1 time frame and not using the lower time frames anymore. Now, one of the biggest reasons was obviously to focus on scaling my capital. In the past, where I've tried to scale, I've hit quite a lot of mental barriers and roadblocks. And obviously a massive factor of that, of course, has been the mindset and working on my identity and my self-image. However, a big portion of that as well was the fact that I was using the lower time frames, seeing too many opportunities, focusing on, massive R trades, holding for longer than I should. I now feel in a position and I feel ready and competent enough to focus on scaling my capital. Obviously, I decided to actually diversify a little bit and check out another prop firm. And the prop firm that I'm looking at is True Forex Funds. Now, of course, many of you may have already heard of True Forex Funds. True Forex Funds is one that has been recommended to me before from a few friends. They have used them and had incredible things to say. So I figured I would grab myself a 200k. Now, I have to say, on first glance, True Forex Funds' website and their overall interface does look incredibly nice. It's easy on the eye. One of their big things is obviously they have actually got a 8% profit target, which is becoming the norm now in the industry, and obviously 5% verification. However, they have 5 minimum trading days, which is pretty sick, and obviously they have the 5% max daily loss, hold overnight, and you can hold over the weekend, which is pretty sick as well. And then when you are funded with them, it's an 80-20 split, no minimum trading days. This was great. Obviously, on top of that, the fact that the cost of the account is pretty much the same. If you're looking for a 200k, you're looking at that. It's pretty much the going rate for a 200k account. And just remember as well, you're paying that 998 euros, and when you pass, you'll get that back in full, and then the account is completely risk-free. And one thing I always say to people, and I've said and been a massive advocate of for a long time now, is when you are passed, once you've passed a challenge of verification, you've got the live account, the first thing you should be doing is getting that payday locked in. So if you're at 1-2%, just get the payday locked in, get paid, get the risk off the account. Then that way the account owes you nothing and you can focus on just scaling, making money with no stress. If you lose it, worst case, who cares, because you've already got your money back and you'd have made some money in profits. The other really cool thing that I like about these guys is obviously their support's been really good. So when I got the account, I actually messed up and got it on MT4, and I've since pivoted to MT5 purely because, again, the way that I'm using and entering on the 15M now, which I'm going to show you in later in this video, so stick around. The way that I'm now entering, obviously I didn't realize on MT5 when you enter, you can sort of drag the stop loss, drag the take profit, which is actually really convenient because sometimes my trades will set up when I'm out. Their support was brilliant. I jumped on the live chat, told them what I'd done, and they were happy to fix it, and they resolved the issue within a couple of minutes, which was sick. The other thing I wanted to touch on as well, I think is really cool, is the payout section. So if you just pop up to here and you go to the payout section, you can see that it actually shows you all the recent payouts based on the month. So you can filter this here, and it shows you how much they've paid out, the highest payout, the average payout. And what you can actually do is you can actually click on this person's payout, view their statistics. And what you'll notice is on a lot of people's payouts is you'll start to see a common theme with the equity curve where it's kind of just, nice and slow. It's moving up nicely. Some will have a big drop off like this one and then have a huge push. But I just sometimes found myself spending a bit of time just looking at this. I'm quite into the whole psychology of things, and it's really interesting when you look at people's stats and you can almost see how they're trading, whether they're sort of someone who's, small win, but very consistent, or they're relying on that one big trade, which, I used to be myself. What I also like about this is this shows you and guarantees you that they do pay out. I know a lot of people, worry and stress over prop firms. TFF are a very reputable prop firm, and this is just a really nice added feature where you can literally just go into accounts and you can just click on any stats and you can just see people's equity curves. I think it's a cool touch. Let me know in the comments if you think it's cool. Let me know if you've used TFF before, because I think they're sick. I'm going to document me passing the challenge. So I grabbed a 200k like I said. If I log into my account, so I go to the client area here, this is my account. So I've only taken one trade on it so far, and I have to say, those that said to me about the spread was good, the spread has been incredible. A lot of these firms now, the spreads are pretty rough, and you start to incur massive slippages, or you'll close a trade at TP, say 2R, but you only get like 1.5 due to spread. TFF's been great. What I closed it for was what I got. I think it's incredible, executed fast, no problems. It's on my copier with my other accounts. Not had any problems at all. Like I say, when I pass this account, that puts me to 500k in funding, so I'll be at 500,000, which is a big goal of mine for Q2. And then after Q2, I'll be focused on probably taking a little bit of time off from challenges, and then I'll be going for the 7 figures. I believe with TFF you can get 400k max allocation, but you can scale that. So if we look here, obviously I just took the one trade, which was nice little equity curve. We'll see how that can continue. There is a trade showing here from Friday. I was meant to take it on my personal account, but I forgot my copier was on. I thought I turned it off. So that is a trade that I've closed out of. But yeah, you can see this trade. It was a nice position on EU. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump to EU. I'm going to show you the trade I took. A lot of you have been asking, how do I trade now? Can I show you some bits and bobs? I'm not really into showing all that sort of stuff on the channel these days, the recaps and stuff. It's just not for me. I do have links in the description for stuff on how I trade. EU, I took an EU short last week. I thought I'd just run over it. So obviously the way I trade now is definitely different to how I used to trade. I only have the daily time frame here more for crypto and stock bits. It's not for FX. FX is just 4 hour and 15 minute. I'm literally using the 4 hour for my direction. And I think a lot of people get misconstrued with the 4 hour. It's such a powerful time frame. And if you understand it and you understand the direction, you can pretty much capitalize on it on the 15M very easily. And it just makes for less time frames, less noise, less things to look at, and it's a nice time frame. You're paying attention to the 6 a.m. close, 10 a.m. close, 2 p.m. close, 4 p.m. close. That's all I have to look at based in the sessions. So I'm trading London 8:10, New York sort of 1 to sort of 3:30, 4ish. You can see we had this huge liquidity pool taken out on EU. So we swept this large amount of liquidity. We had a fail to close. That should actually be here. So we had a fail to close over here, price failed to close above, and then obviously it's closed above, we've had the one candle above, and then we've pulled back in. So in here, as it stands, this is my range, I'm trading from here and here. Obviously aware that this could be a trap POI, essentially somewhere where people are looking to get long, and it's going to use it as liquidity, and we could look at coming down into these levels here, filling these fair value gaps, etc. So my idea for the day was shorts, drop into the 15-minute. So you can see Asia here has built up this nice sizable liquidity. We have liquidity underneath down here stacking up. We have liquidity here. Obviously Asia highs here. We also have this POI, which I believe was a news POI. So if you see, and if you can easily get data on this, if you go over the major news events, they're obviously a catalyst, and a lot of people will look at them as a great POI because, it's broken structure and it's a sell to buy and it's got imbalance before it. But you'll see how price will just gravitate towards it like a magnet and usually take that out. So it's another added confluence for me. So waiting for my session to start, coming into London here. Now I'm looking at sort of this point of liquidity to be taken out before I look to enter. So I'd be looking here. If we can get a draw on this liquidity, I'd be looking to get short. So we get that there. And the way I'm entering is I'm literally entering on the bearish close. So I'm entering on the 15-minute candle closes now. For those of you that are asking, here you go. So this one closes like a doji. Not fond of those. I do prefer them to have a bit more of a body to them. If that had more of a sort of bearish body, it'd be great. But you can play this here. Cover that high with sort of, I think I had an 11 pip stop. I actually hit this one. I was about to go out and get a haircut, so I was more than happy to hit it. 11 pips covered the high. And there's news this day as well. So obviously, usually I'm targeting 1 to 3s. But I'm happy to take 1 to 2s. I'm no longer bothered. My ego's not there. I'm not bothered about that sort of stuff anymore. You do get another sweep higher. So this is the preferred candle that I'd rather enter on. This is perfect. So again, if you weren't in, you could have waited for this candle here. Get in 11 pips above the high. Looking for 3R. So you get a nice initial reaction. Comes back for a retest, and then obviously we go to sort of dead zone between 10 and New York Open. Exciting trading is bad, boring trading is good. So when we actually had that next pass down and we actually broke this low, I think it's the next candle here, I closed this out for around 2%. I took just over 2% out of this position. Just because we were coming up to those news events, I'd sat through this, I'd had a busy day, I'd been out, I got my hair cut, I'd been for a walk, I'd grabbed a coffee, I was going out with the missus, and I was like, I don't need to be in this trade anymore. I don't want to be managing it during news, because what we know happens through news is we can stack liquidity. I didn't want it to come back up here, give away another R. Bearing in mind we are seeing, bullish price delivery. Although my logic is we're playing the fail to close, we had the liquidity to target. That has now just been taken. Once liquidity is taken, we tend to get a sharp, aggressive reaction the opposite way. Yes, we have the news POI. Yes, we have the discounted pricing. But I was more than happy to take 2%. And on that day, closing that trade, combined with the challenge account, of course, but there's like 10K there. So straight away, I kind of had that realization of like, hang on a minute, I did a 1 to 2, I did all those things. Bearing in mind, on this day, I actually woke up late, which is not like me. I still managed to get all my routine done, take a trade that fit the plan, and manage it well, and clear 10K. I'm not going to let that reverse on me and take me out. There's no need. Steady compounded growth is what I'm going for, and longevity. I'm looking for that nice equity curve. I'm not looking for that big drop and push. I'm not interested in that anymore. So a nice 1 to 2 here. Close the trade out. And obviously it did go. We watch for the news. So news pushes up first. You get a retest. You then get a follow through, followed by another retest. You then hit discount. Then it starts to trend off, and obviously it completes its job. It takes out that news POI. Obviously at first you get a reaction, that's giving buyers hope, and obviously it takes them out. So you can see how here, just a nice simple trade, and then we actually go to break that 4-hour range, and then I would move my 4-hour range and go from there. So hopefully that clears up a little bit how I'm trading. Like I say, you don't have to try and copy my trading just because I've changed. You don't have to automatically be like, oh, Alb's done it, I need to do it. If what works for you works, stick to it. But I was just sharing, again, my journey and the findings I'm having, the realizations I'm having. But as I say, True Forex funds, they seem to be sick. I'm looking forward to checking them out more. I'm looking forward to growing and scaling my capital with them. And I'm looking forward to hitting the 500k margin in funding. It's not on a pedestal for me. It's not one of these things that's like, oh my God, but it is a big goal. And I've worked hard to get to the point I'm at. I've had to go through a very interesting journey. And I just want to say, no matter how the journey is, however it seems, it may say cliche, but, just don't give up, because at the same time, you'll always look back with regret, and I think regret is far worse than actually failing. And remember that, to be successful, you have to fail, and you may fail more times than someone you know. You may fail less times than someone you know. You've got to focus on your journey. Your journey is unique and it's inclusive to you, and it's very important you don't get lost by that and focus on, the ifs, buts, and maybes, and you just learn. And I think that's the ultimate thing here is you need to learn. You need to put your ego at bay. You need to go on a bit of soul searching and ask yourself, what is your goal? How do you get there? And are you doing the things that you need to be doing to get there? And if not, why not? And what do you need to change in order to get there? And once you figure that out, you'll very quickly realize just how important it was to go on that journey of searching. Some of you may not want to, but you need to. But I'll keep you posted on the account. I'll do another video when I pass the challenge and whatnot. This was recorded on sort of the first week of April. So by now I may have already passed. I'll let you know if I have. But I'll do another video soon, let you know. Big shout out to TFF, for being a legit firm and having something a little bit new as well. I like the way that they've done what they've done in terms of the max daily loss, the profit targets, the trading days, the no trading days when it comes to getting paid out. Being able to just look at people's payouts and see that they've actually been paid and how they've traded. I just think that's really cool. Maybe that's just me geeking out. But overall, I hope this video helps in some way, shape or form. I hope you all have an incredible week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love, gang.